My name is Sean Petrie, and I write poems. I'm a poet, and a lot of the poems that I write are done on the spot for people on an old typewriter. Somebody comes up at an event, gives me a topic, and I write them a poem in 1 or 2 minutes. And that's what this is an example of. This was from in Washington, D.C. There was a book fair called the Antiquarian Book Fair, where they're selling and displaying old and rare books, and this kid came up. I don't know, he was probably about 12, and I said, "What could I write you a poem about?" And he said, "Zombies and music." And so right away I knew this was going to be a fun poem, and I decided it was going to be a rhyming poem. And so this is what came out with that. Zombies and music. Oh, come with me now to the zombie dance. Don't be afraid. Take a chance. It's not scary like ghosts with chains. You just have to watch for flying brains. See, when that music starts, these zombies like to move. They dance and twirl with their gooey groove. When they really get going, they'll lose an arm or even a leg. But hey, no harm. 'Cause zombies are crazy on that fly dance floor. And if they lose some limbs, they'll just grab more. So come join me now. Come take a chance. Be like a zombie. Don't think, just dance. Zombies and music. I gave the poem to that boy. I snapped a photo of it, which I got here. And then he read it and really liked it. I never saw him again, which is the way with most of these poems. But one of the things I like about this poem is it was just such a fun topic, and it combined these two things. I never got up that morning and was like, I'm going to write a poem about zombies and music or dancing. And the rhymes in here, there's a couple that I just really liked how they worked out, and I'm going to give you a couple sort of, I don't know, maybe tricks or just what I do sometimes when I'm rhyming. So the first one here, it says, "Oh, come with me now to the zombie dance." I had no idea where it was going to go at that point. I just knew that this was going to be a zombie dance. And so now I needed to rhyme with that. And it ended up with, "Don't be afraid, take a chance." So there you go. So I've started into that poem, that sort of first stanza there. At that point, I knew I wanted to use brains in there, because zombies and brains, right? So here's the trick. I knew I wanted to rhyme with brains, so I wanted to think of a word that rhymed with brains and use that first. So that's often a thing that I like to do, is like, okay, I want to end on this word. Now really quickly, what's another word that rhymes with that I can set it up with? Kind of a setup rhyme. So with this one, it's not scary like ghosts with chains. So chains had popped into my head. I'm like, chains rattle on ghosts, boom. I'm going to do that. And all this is happening really quickly. But then I got to bring in brains and said, you just have to watch for flying brains. Then we got going with the rest of the poem, and they're dancing and losing limbs and losing arms. But then the last stanza, I was like, all right. And when I type these poems, it's on a sheet of paper just this big. It's a half sheet of paper. So I have to end it, right? I can't keep going forever. There's a poetry set, almost like a canvas. So this one, another kind of tip or trick with poems is you can often end where you began. So that's what happened with this one. It's not quite the same verse as the start, but it's close. So the first one starts out with, "Oh, come with me now to the zombie dance." And I looked back up to that. And I did something very similar. I said, "So come join me now." And now I knew I wanted to flip the rhymes. So that first one, it starts with dance, and the end rhyme is chance. And so this one, I was like, oh, let's start with chance and end with dance. So it's, "Come join me now, come take a chance. Be like a zombie, don't think, just dance." And I love how that happened, because for one, that last line is exactly what a zombie would be like. They don't really have brains, right? Or they're a whole lot. So don't think, just dance. It's also very similar to this style of poetry writing. Don't overthink it. Just dive in and see what comes out. Don't think, just dance. Don't think, just write a poem. My name is Sean Petrie. Thank you very much for listening and watching.